The hell are you supposed to be?
I'm vengeance.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Good evening, everybody, or good night, whatever. Yeah, it's good night. Just took a shower, fresh shower. Okay. What's up? AW here, order. Yeah. So this stream is on both channels, my sports and my regular pop culture channel, because this relates to both. This topic relates to both, and the topic I'm going to talk about is winning time, the rise of the Lakers dynasty. It's such a comical, great HBO show. And let me tell you, it's not a comedy. It's not a comedy. When I say comical, I mean over dramatic. That's what I mean by that. It makes me laugh. That's what I mean. How dramatic they make the dramatic how they make the show. That's what I mean by comical here. It's not a comedy. It's not a comedy of the show. Okay. That's not what I mean. Okay. But yeah, so before we get into this, why it's such a great show, it's such a funny show, and why I think it's a great comical HBO show, why it's so funny, not the way you think. There's a lot of things why. Hey, blinded. So so let me just share this out first, okay? So if you don't know, this show is about the rise of the Lakers dynasties in the 80s with Magic, Kareem, and so on, okay? That's what it's about. Okay? This so it's it's a freaking parody. I'll say it out loud. It's a parody. It's a parody. And I just got like some bot just following me. Okay. Whatever. It's basically a parody of the Lakers in the 80s. It's so that's why it says comical, okay? Okay. So, I'm a sports fan. And it said when I heard about the series being announced, I definitely had interest in it. I wonder what the series was going to be about. This Rise of the Lakers Dynasty in the 80s, right? I was interested. Cast, the people they got for the show, for all the roles, you got Jason Segel. Yeah, I think Jason Segel's in it. Adrian Brody is in it. Jason Clark is in it. John C. Reilly is in it. Brett Collins in it. Sada Fields was in it in the first season. She's in the first season. You got Michael Chiklis in it. You got who else? Yeah, we're gonna get to that, Anthony. Okay. Who else? Oh, Jillian Jacobs is in it. There's a cast you would recognize. Now, the Magic Johnson actor, his name is the actor playing Magic Johnson's name. I haven't seen him anywhere before, but Quincy Isaiah has played Magic Johnson, and you got this guy named Solomon Hughes. Who actually did play he did play some basketball, but he's played Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Who are other noteworthy names? Let's see. Okay. Mike Epps. You know all Mike Epps? Yeah, he does look like Michael Johnson, Magic Johnson. Mike Epps, the comedian Mike Epps, played Richard Pryor. Okay. We got the daughter Jeannie Buss. Who plays her? Who plays Jeannie Buss? Let's find out. I'm looking for who's playing Jeannie Buss. Hadley Robinson plays Jeannie Buss. The cast, you recognize the main cast from other films, you know. John C. Reilly, of course, very famous with Will Ferrell movies. Jason Clarke, you see him in other stuff. Adrian Brody, you know, he broke out with The Pianist. But she obviously recognized him from Godzilla. Not Godzilla, Kong. Jason Segel, a bunch of movies with Seth Rogen, those guys, and obviously from How I Met Your Mother. Brett Collin, obviously you recognize Brett Collin. Brett Collin, you know, he played Thomas Wayne in the Joker movie. So you really do recognize some the main characters, the cast. Okay. For the players the cast you may not recognize. For the players, like I said, Quincy Isaiah plays Magic Johnson. I'm clicking on his Wikipedia page. You can't even. It's not even highlighted blue. You can't even click on it. Okay, but yeah, so they already did one season last year in March of 2022. They did, I think, the first season, yes, and it's 10 episodes. 10 episodes. I think they said, yeah, season 2 is supposed to be 7 episodes. They already did the first 2 episodes. This show is really, really funny, man. This is about the Lakers dynasty, okay? Through the 80s. Right? When the first season is when Jerry Buss spent money, his fortune, to buy the Lakers. The lackluster Lakers. And when he bought the Lakers, he wanted the draft Magic Johnson in the same draft that Larry Bird was drafted in. Okay? At the time, Jerry West was the coach of the Lakers, right? Jerry West was a Laker legend, but he became the coach. And in this show, they portrayed Jerry West like a hothead. Okay, he would get angry at everything. They portrayed the character of Jerry West like he's a lunatic. Yeah, he did. He trusted Magic from day one. Yes, they treated Jerry West like he's a lunatic. Like Jerry West was like a lunatic portrayed in this show. Even in the second season, like he was a freaking lunatic. You get mad at everything. He's a hothead. Now, from what I know, Jerry West is not a lunatic, a hothead. But this is the thing with the show. And one of the problems Jerry West had with it, he did not like his portrayal of him in the show. So basically, what happens is HBO and Warner Brothers, because this is a Warner Brothers show, basically had to say that this is just an exaggerated parody and not exactly what happened. They basically say it's not a documentary. It's not a documentary. It's not a documentary. This is not a documentary. This is just an exaggerated parody of the 80s dynasty. Basically saying some stuff did happen in that decade, but some of the stuff we're going to use for a show did not happen. The best I could say it's like a fictional. It's fiction / nonfiction, because there's some stuff. Yeah, exactly. It's like a lot of these shows, right? A lot of these shows or movies based on real life events. It's fiction / nonfiction. If you really, right? It's like there's a big controversy right now in the NFL world, football world, well, post NFL world with Michael Orr and the Blindside movie. The Blindside movie that was pretty well acclaimed. Critics loved it, fans loved it. It was really special. That movie was Sandra Bullock. But now things come out about it with Michael Orr claims and says what happened in that movie was all bullshit, and the family just basically used them. And that's okay. Yeah, he's doing a lawsuit. And yeah, so yeah, okay. But this show, like Jerry West, especially Jerry West, the former player slash executive coach, GM, whatever, in his illustrious basketball career, where it's from player to management, he's not happy with this show. He did not like this show. He doesn't like this show, how he portrays him, because it makes him, it gives him, it feels like it gives fans the wrong impression of him, of what he's like as as a coach and a player and working in the Lakers management. Now he's worked with the Lakers management for a long time. I know he left a couple years ago and went to the Clippers, right? He went to the Clippers because there's a whole time before LeBron got there that the Lakers management was a mess. Juan Pelinka, the buses, like the whole bus family was like not in this show, but when the Lakers in the mid 2010 decades, when they were always one of the worst teams, you hear things with ownership, how the family was not getting along. Okay. And it was a mess with the Lakers. And Jerry West left. Oh, this season started off good. It started off good, man. It's good. But the first season is really hilarious. You got you got this Magic Johnson, this young player at the time, right? Oh, flashy smiles. Things are always positive. He always looks optimistic. He's always been optimistic. Smile. You can tell he's very immature. Go to the Lakers locker room, and they're led by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, nicknamed Cap. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is totally opposite of Magic, and he wanted Magic. He didn't gel with Magic right away because of the immaturity, right? Like he thinks he's telling him this is going to be easy stuff. Like I know this happened in real life at the time. But they kind of made Kareem Abdul-Jabbar look more like a jerk in this show too. Like he's an arrogant asshole, a jerk. And if you know Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, yeah, he was one of the best players. A lot of players were kind of, a little arrogant. But Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was, if you know Kareem, he's actually a really, really good human being, a really, really nice guy. And they didn't portray him like that in this show. They made him a complete jerk. And I don't know. There was an incident where in the show they said basically told a kid to F off. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said he came out and said the real Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said that was not true. That never happened. Okay. Now I like the show, but obviously I acknowledge that some of the drama is fabricated and based on some real life stuff because there were issues with Magic Kareem at the time. There were issues. I don't know if there was issues. I really don't know if there's real issues with Magic and Jerry West at the time. I know there was issues between Magic and Paul Westhead, the coach. That hasn't been shown yet on the season 2 yet. It's going to be shown in season 2. In season 2, you're going to show where Paul Westhead, Jason Segel's character, and Magic, they didn't agree on things, and this cost Paul Westhead his job. You're going to see that in season 2. Season 1 is basically the 79 or 80 season. Season 2, it's going to be skip 3. It's going to go through 3 seasons. Yeah, 3 seasons because when they won the championship Magic's first year, they did not win the championship for the next 3 or 4 years. Okay, to 83, 84, around there. So they're going to skim through that. And if you know those 3 seasons, Paul Westhead is not the coach of the Lakers anymore. It's Pat Riley, who's Adrian Brody's character. And remember, Paul Westhead was not supposed to be the coach. It was supposed to be Jack McKinney. I think that's his name. Jack McKinney. But Jack McKinney suffered a horrific crash when he was biking. I think that might have been true. And that really did happen. And Paul Westhead got the job. Jack McKinney, a year later, took a job with, I think, Portland, if I'm correct. Okay. And at this time, I don't know if this is real life. I don't know if this happened in real life. I don't know much about Pat Riley before he became the coach. But I don't know if he was struggling. I don't know. I do know he tried to get into broadcasting. I think that's true. He was struggling at the time for his post-playing career. Injuries. Was the reason why. Okay, you gotta watch season 2, man. Watch season 1. Did you see season 1? Oh yeah, you saw season 1. Um, so Pat Riley, but Pat, since Paul West needed an assistant coach, you got Pat Riley, and obviously later on, Pat Riley becomes the Lakers coach. Obviously, you'll see that later in this season 2, as they go through the 3 years since the last championship, the championship of Magic. You'll see that, and it's hilarious. It's hilarious. Okay, it's also hilarious how over the top, how much of a over the top Jerry Buss is. Like John C. Reilly's Jerry the Buss is. Sally Fields played his mother in the first season, and she passed away in the first season. She died in the first season. Spoilers. So I'm gonna put that up here, guys. There are gonna be spoilers. I'm sorry if I'm spoiling this. He's a great coach, Pat Riley. Great coach. Great executive too, man. He knows his stuff, man. He knows who he's putting in charge, man. He one of the best basketball minds out there, Pat Riley. And Adrian Brody kills it as Pat Riley, okay? And I think I don't know if you want to ask an Emmy for that, but I'm telling you, he definitely deserves to wear he definitely deserves to. So he never got nominated for an Emmy as a support character for that show. Now the question is, who is really the lead of that show, right? Is it Magic Johnson? Is it Jerry Buss? Is it right? You would think it's Jerry Buss, but Magic shares as much screen time as Jerry Buss, and I think Adrian Brody plays as well. Pat Riley the best of any of the actors in that show. Now Jason Segel, when I watch Jason Segel as Paul Westhead, my problem with Jason Segel in this show. I don't know much about Paul Westhead. I don't know what he's like really in real life or how. Right? I don't know. I never met him, but like how he did. I know he's coached other teams. I think he's coached Sacramento or whatever. I don't know. But Jason Segel kind of plays himself a little bit in this show. Jason Segel plays these roles and he shows all the time, or some movies where he's sometimes very calm, very nervous at times. He's just like, well, I don't think. Here's my tone. Here's Jason Segel. I don't think that's a good idea. Well, I think we should do that. Stuff like that. Jason Segel does that a lot with that kind of tone, right? With his acting roles. He kind of plays like that in here, and he does get pissed off at times in this. Because he could, okay? Jason Segel kind of plays himself, and I guess it works for Paul Westhead. It was Michael Shannon? Really? It was supposed to be also Will Ferrell, but Will Ferrell had a falling out with the director and John C. Reilly, right? Like, and you can see the drama with Paul Westhead and Magic Johnson later on in this season too. You'll see it because if you know that, because yeah, some stuff is fabricated, but some stuff isn't. And if you do a long history on Lakers Dynasty in the 80s, if you just search it up and the history of Paul Westhead, you'll realize, yeah, he gets I mean, it's not really spoilers if you ask me. It's not you can't really spoil this because this happened. Some of the stuff happened in real life. Yeah, there's some fabricated, made up stuff, but most of the fabricated stuff is based on real life stuff. So it's not really spoiling anything. You can just really search it up on the internet. It's there. It's been there for a long time. But you'll find out Paul Westhead, yeah, they let him go because the management decided to go with Magic Because that's how sports is, guys. Let's be honest. Coaches get hired to get fired, right? And Magic did not agree with the style of play. And at one point, Magic and Paul West at a point, the relationship soured. And I don't know if you know this. Magic did kind of demand a trade in his early years with the Lakers, but yet, no, did not trade him. Okay. And Magic is small town kid from Lansing, Michigan, went to Michigan State, and he gets flown into Los Angeles, where Hollywood is on the rise, and the life of LA, the celebrities of LA, and the Lakers weren't really the Lakers. Okay, LA, like, sports wise in LA back then wasn't really a big thing. It's still not in my okay. Los Angeles people fan. Los Angeles people, if you ever live in Los Angeles, don't go at me here. But I'm telling you, you're not really a good sports town. You're never really a good sports town. You love the Lakers, you love the Dodgers, you like the Kings when they win. The Kings when they win, but that's it. Okay. But back then, LA was just basically a Dodger town, maybe a Raider town or Rams town if they're still in LA at the time. But they're basically a Dodger town, okay, for a long, long time. Even because they obviously 30 years before they moved from Brooklyn. That was a great movie. 42 was a great movie. Okay. Okay. So so and the rivalry between the Celtics and the Lakers, if it wasn't for that rivalry, a lot of people would say basketball, the NBA may not be here to this day. May not be here to this day. Because you got East versus West. LA versus Boston, right? LA versus Boston. Bird versus Magic. Okay? Larry Bird versus Magic. No, oh, no, 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 it's not. I, it's, it's, no, I'll say this. For the decade it is, but I still think the biggest rivalry in sports is Boston, New York. Boston Red Sox and New York Yankees. I still say it's the Red Sox and Yankees. I still say it's that. It might be second. Might be second. But you gotta remember, there's a lot of football rivalries too, man. There's a lot of football rivalries. But I still say Boston and New York is the biggest rivalry in sports. Now the 80s were yeah. And there's a lot of college football rivalries that date back 100 years. We gotta remember that. So but that rivalry made basketball into the limelight, into mainstream, and all of that. That rivalry did catapult basketball, and that's not that's not a lie. That's a fact. It's a fact. Okay, Magic and Larry Bird basically carried for that decade, and then Michael Jordan took it a whole new level in the early '90s when Michael Jordan became the best player and the Dream Team. They a whole new level, man. And now, look what the NBA is now, man. But this show, you got Magic Johnson. Now, Magic Johnson was, oh my God, this guy is horny as hell, man. This guy can't keep his dick out of women, man. And if you know his life, he did get in his basically after his rookie year, he did get a woman pregnant. So he is married to his longtime love right now, Cookie, and you'll see it in the show. But he does have a son with another woman who got pregnant, and basically his rookie after his rookie year, just before his sophomore year. So he has like a son with another woman, okay? Because he couldn't keep his, I know he couldn't keep. I, he was letting the fame get to him because he was from a small town guy, right? Lansing, Michigan, right? Michigan State, basically in Lansing, we went to school, gets thrusted into Los Angeles. This is Los Angeles, okay? This is not a small city. I mean, Detroit, he'd be like, I think he'd be a big celebrity in Detroit because because he'd be considered like a local town hero there, basically, right? But if you went to like Cleveland, Houston, I don't know, Indiana, what other teams were around the time, he wouldn't be. He wouldn't. The limelight, the lifestyle wouldn't be the same as it would be in LA or like New York or anything these major cities. So I obviously it's easier to get distracted, and that's what I think happened, right? I think in the show. Obviously, he got distracted, and Kareem does not like that. He thinks this is Kareem sees basketball as just as a job. He's good at it. He's like having fun, but he sees basketball as a job. What matters more to Kareem is being an activist, okay? Speaking out against stuff, fighting for stuff. Kareem sees me as basketball as just a job to make money so he can support his wife, his family, his kid. He gets his first child he gets in the second season, and the causes he supports. Kareem is all about stuff outside of basketball. Basketball to him is a job, okay? To Magic, basketball is fun, a game, a sport, and at a young age, immaturity. Okay, he was very immature. Like, okay, I can understand where how that is, and Kareem is there to try to humble Magic, where you can enjoy basketball, but there's more to life than being a basketball player. And obviously, as Magic in real life got older, got more mature, got more wise, he's one of the leading fighters, one of the leading ambassadors, activists for HIV/AIDS out there. He's fighting every day to make sure, there's fighting for research for potential cure for HIV and AIDS. Because if you know the story, if you know Magic Johnson's story, he got diagnosed with HIV and AIDS, right? Obviously, right? If you know that. And that's going to probably be featured later on in the show. Probably not he's fighting the fight. Probably not for a couple more seasons. Probably and I think this will get a season 3. I don't know. Probably won't be the third season, but this is if we get to that point where they announce another season, they are going to introduce that storyline into this show. Okay? I expect the HIV Magic Johnson AIDS storyline eventually being involved in the show. It will be down the line because the show is going at the beginning of the decade of the 80s and at the end of the decades, okay? To the end of the decades. Now, season 2 is spanning through 3 years. Season 1 was basically 1 year. This is 3 years, the 83, 84. And I think Magic got diagnosed at 89 or 90. It could be 91. So we're a long way off from that. Oh, I think it's going to happen. The show is so good, though. A budget reduction? No budget reduction is. Now, what's the interesting storyline in this? It's who the shoe company Magic Johnson signed with. Now, so Magic Johnson's rich, wealthy, obviously, right? He can live for a long time off his money, so that is all fine financially. But he could have been a billionaire, a literal billionaire, okay? On one reason only. He was as he was rookie year, all these shoe companies come up to you, right? they want to sign you so you can advertise your shoes. So you want to wear your shoes while you're playing the game. They want to advertise you for commercials, stuff like that. So they can sell your shoes on the market, right? You can have your own shoe named after you, right? Like I'm just gonna make one up, the Magic 3, whatever, the Magic 32, whatever, right? So this little startup company, nobody's ever heard of, comes up to Magic, and they offered him this deal that obviously doesn't sound believable at all. This little startup company, and they promised him this would probably be the best deal you ever make. And Degrassi's right. Degrassi's right. And his agent said, no, you shouldn't go with it. So Magic ends up going to Converse, okay, Converse. But who is that little startup company now for Magic? It was Nike. And guess what? Nike snapped up Michael Jordan years later, when Michael Jordan entered the league in 84, 85, 86, around that era. And Michael Jordan became the greatest player of all time. 6-0 in the championships, freaking billionaire. And his shoe, the Air Jordan, sold like crazy. If it wasn't for, John, yes, yeah, exactly. Jordan got rich off a lot of advertisement. Obviously, his NBA contract made him rich. Obviously. He got wealthy off that, but he did not become a billionaire off that NBA contract. Okay, no player, only one player, two players in NBA history are billionaires. Okay, Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Okay, but Michael Jordan did not become a billionaire based off his NBA contract. He became a billionaire off all the merchandise he was selling, the jerseys, because players do get a percentage of the jerseys, but specifically the freaking shoes. The shoes is what catapulted him to that level. Now, Michael Jordan, greatest player of all time, I'll give him that, but he was not a good talent evaluator, man. He couldn't work. He couldn't do it in Washington, and he couldn't do it with the Bobcats/Hornets. Great player of all time, but it just shows you that being the greatest player of all time doesn't mean you're the greatest at scouting talent. And you're right. Degrassi's right. Magic could have been Jordan before Jordan. And I don't think Magic regrets that now. Obviously, I don't think he regrets it now. That's not BS, because Magic got a pretty solid career. He's rich for life, so he's fine. Like, I don't think he's has an issue with that now. But that's crazy though. But Magic was really like the first player in the NBA that's able to play all 5 positions, right? Point guard, shooting guard, small forward, center, power forward. He was that damn good. He's like really like Julius Erving. Yeah. Julius Erving revolutionized basketball by the dunks. Do you want to wear underwear? Come, wear the Michael Jordan underwear. Come to the underwear. You do anything for money, right? So like Julius Erving revolutionized basketball with the dunking, right? But Magic and Larry revolutionized basketball by this epic rivalry that they portrayed in this show. Let me tell you. Now this is not fabricated. Boston fans, they hated the Lakers. They hated Magic Johnson, and oh my God, you see these clips of them throwing debris, food at the Lakers. They really hated Magic. And yeah, and Boston. Let me tell you, Boston is known to be a racist town. Oh, there's players that can pass like him now. There's some at the time. You're right, but I think there's players that can pass like him now, though. They can pass like Magic. That the vision Magic can do. Like I seen LeBron do it. LeBron is basically the mold of Magic. Really. Basically, LeBron is basically the same player as Magic. If you really look at him. And I don't know if we may get to the end, right? We may get to the end of the series when the Laker dynasty is on its last legs. But because I do believe the Bulls do face Magic in the finals one year, and I think it's where the Bulls win. So we may get to a point where we see Jordan. We may be given before, but we may get to see a point where we might get somebody seeing playing Michael Jordan in the show at one point. Because I do believe well, at the end of the decade, the Lakers do play the Bulls in the finals, and I believe that's one of the six where the Bulls win. And I think it's the first. I think it's the first championship of the six Jordan wins with the Bulls is against the Lakers. I could be wrong. I know it's one of the three, first three. And I can't wait to see because I can't wait to see guy when you get like the Buckets of Kim Olajuwon, Charles Barkley, eventually. Oh, Charles Barkley's in Philadelphia. Because Magic came in the early 80s and Hakeem Olajuwon, yeah, 91, thank you, Degrassi. Hakeem Olajuwon came in the mid 80s, right? That was a great draft, man. The Olajuwon draft, that's the same draft Jordan got drafted in. It was a great draft. Patrick Ewing comes in the mid 80s, A lot of good Hall of Famers came in the mid 80s. And we might get to see him in the show. But Larry Bird, man, Larry Bird, the actor who plays Larry Bird, man, he doesn't really look like Larry Bird at all. I'll say this. I'll be honest with you. He does not look like Larry Bird. Okay? He does not look like Larry Bird. Okay? But he definitely acts like Larry Bird. Because Larry Bird was an asshole. Larry Bird was definitely an asshole, a jerk. Really, really a jerk. And he bought into the rivalry. Like he was more into the rivalry. Yeah, but I think he was more into the rivalry than Magic. I think Magic didn't take in this show so far. I don't think Magic took the rivalry between the two as personal as Larry Bird does. I think Larry Bird definitely took the rivalry more personal between the two so far. That's what it seems like in the first two seasons. And you don't want to piss this guy off. You don't want to piss this. You don't want to piss off Larry Bird. Yeah, yeah. Like Larry Bird, if you piss him off, he trash talks. If you piss him off, he'll go off on you, man. He's one of those guys that's not just all talk and not to walk. He talks and walks. That's Larry Bird. He's not somebody that cowls. When he trash talks, he's not somebody that backs down when, right? He talks to talk. Of course he does. He has championships. He has multiple championships. You got to, right? Like Larry Bird and Magic are two opposite players. Two completely opposite. Larry Bird took basketball very personal. Very personal. Magic loves basketball. He sees it as his job, as a sport, but I don't think he took it as personal as Larry Bird. Same with Kareem. Kareem wasn't a jerk per se, okay? But you got John C. Reilly as Jerry Buss, and this guy, oh my god, I can see why Jeannie is his favorite child. And this season two, he really, man, there's family issues with that family, man. He basically degrades his own two sons, and Jeannie Buss, she basically is his little girl, basically. And Jeannie Buss, if you know the history, she dated Jack Nicholson, right? Jack Nicholson, if you remember that. They dated each other, but I don't think they. And Jack Nicholson is like at every Laker game, right? Why not? He doesn't act anymore. He could go to every Laker game, right? Let me see. I'm trying to make sure if he did date Jeannie Buss? I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure it doesn't say here. He's not even married. Yeah, yeah, and this happened. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, this is right. Yeah, I remember this. That family is oh. That family had problems. Now, an actor, we did get to see Jack Nicholson in the show as an not the actor, not Jack Nicholson himself, but someone playing Jack Nicholson for like a second was in the show. I f Okay. Uh, like Magic Man, this it was funny. Like episode, like there was they added some comedy in season two. Really, it's it's strange though, man. Like yeah, this is true. And they portrayed Jerry Buss like, and they portrayed Jerry Buss like kind of like I guess a playboy, kind of going after women too, whatever. Like, but the thing is, Jerry Buss was never like that. He was not known to be like that. He did have marital problems. Obviously, he did get married a couple times in the past, but he wasn't like that in the show. It's a problem with is Hollywood though. They gotta make these millionaire, billionaire people seem like, especially the men, seem like they're always playboys, you know? Always playboys. Always after the men, women, right? Like now, in real life, he has 7 children. 6 of them work with the Lakers organization. Yeah. And it was so he loved the Lakers though. But he was kind of like in this season, he's kind of treating like his family like a business, more of a than a family. Like he cares more about the Lakers than his own family. Now, Degrassi, what were you watching yesterday? Well, so Degrassi, you were watching Well Women of Wrestling, right? Okay. You take a guess who developed that wrestling company. Because I guarantee you, you'll know. I know you know. Because I said her name multiple times on here. The person that developed women's wrestling is Janie Buss. Developed, developed by Janie Buss, but created by David McLean. Yes, Janie Buss what is into wrestling. Oh my gosh, he's J.J. Moore. Oh, he's actually pretty. No, Janie Bush dated Phil Jackson, not Jack Nicholson. Okay, Janie Bush Phil was dating Phil Jackson. That's true. Oh yeah. They've been her and Phil Jackson dated since started dating in December 1999 and broke up in 2016. Saying because Phil Jackson went to the Knicks, I think, saying professional obligation and geographic distance resulting in a break off or engagement. So you've been basically in a relationship and engaged for almost 99 for almost 20 years. Who gets the hell? I'm sorry. No engaged. No, I don't know how long the engagement was, but I'm sorry. Engagement. If you get engaged and your wedding is like 5 years, 10 years down the road, you're not getting engaged, buddy. You're not getting married. That relationship is ending. Sorry. When you're engaged, there's a max on when you have to get married. Okay. When you're engaged, there's a max. Okay. I'm sorry. There's a rule. There's a wrong with the rule. Whatever. Yeah. Yeah. She ran that company, Moons of Wrestling, and let me see if I know any women in that roster. Let me see if I notice any women in that roster. Okay. What the fuck are these names? Wrecking Ball? Look at these names. Okay, let me look at these names. Americana? Aerial Sky? What? Chainsaw? Exodus? Ladies. Advice. Get out of this. Get out of this company. And try to go to an independent. Try to go to AEW, WWE, or Impact. You have better names there. But yeah, this show, like, the thing is, like, Magic Johnson Perry was raised in a religious home. Ever since he got to LA, religion doesn't mean anything to him anymore. I think she might have done that. Yes. Now the question is, what I don't know. I believe Magic has talked about this show. I don't. Oh, so I was watching episode 2. Spoiler alert, right? In this episode, Magic was injured, right? If you watch the first episode, Magic gets hurt, right? And this happens in real life. He had in the second sophomore season, he gets hurt and he's out for about 3 to 4 months, right? Right? The team makes the playoffs, but barely. But they have a new system where Magic really doesn't fit. But in the show, they have a guard play Magic Johnson's position, and in the show, they felt like Magic was more about himself. The Magic's more about himself, and then in the system they're winning right now, since Magic is out, is working and helping him win games. But since Magic's coming back, they have to like insert him in the starting lineup and should go back to system to suit Magic's needs for for his style of play. And this player, Nixon, I think his last name was Nixon, did not like that, right, in the show. And apparently, after getting out of the locker room, a reporter out of nowhere, just like in the locker room, yeah, yeah, that's what he is. And Winning Time has to say this is just a parody, not really, not exactly. This is just it's basically had to say this is a parody and an exaggeration of stuff like that. They had to, I think in season 2, they had to clarify what the show is. So this reporter comes up, and this player Nixon was frustrated, right? You know what? You know what? Saying stuff about magic in the paper, whatever, right? Right? We don't need magic. Cooper knows. Yeah. Now, some of this is true in real life, but that backstage scene in 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 episode 2 did not happen in real life. That never happened in real life. And there was a time where they felt the Lakers, you know what? They felt like Magic is getting this huge ego, right? And yeah, because obviously he didn't really like, even though he was a sophomore in the second, he didn't really earn the right to be the leader, to do all this. You got to earn it, right? The Kareem is there. Yeah, that's true. Now, right? You got to earn your right to become a leader. And you didn't see that in Magic. You saw Magic as someone who's like enjoying this too much, enjoying the limelight, the scenery, whatever, too much. Someone who's like, getting too much attention, so much attention. Like, obviously he's a star player, so it's happens all the time in sports. Yeah, you do, but like, if you're the star player, you always get your spot back, right? No matter what, unless there's a limit, right, on how much minutes you get played. And now in the show, Paul Westhead did not want, like, when Magic came back, you saw the scenes. Everybody's like, why? What? Everybody's like, the commentators and people are like, why is? And you can see even Jerry Buss in his little suite or not suite, but his press box, his wherever, at the forum, and when it's like, why is not thinking, why is Magic not in the game? And Paul Westhead did not want to put Magic in the game because he did not want to change the system on the fly. Okay, because his system was working, but eventually did put Magic in the game, and I think they lost that game, and they lost to Houston. Houston in 3 games, and Houston was under 500. Houston was under 500 at the time, and this is the same Houston 3 or 4 or 5 years later, end up with Hakeem Olajuwon. Like, Houston wasn't a good team, but the thing is, there was about 22 teams. Let me see what the playoffs were. 1981. Might be 1981. Let me play this. Yeah, no, there were, so only like so at the time, only 4 teams from each conference makes the playoffs, right? And Houston that year, I'll tell you what the record was. This is what the record was: 40-42, and the Lakers' record at the time was 54-28. So that's a major upset. Now it's a 3-game series. Obviously, not a 5-game series or not a 5 or 7-game series, but still it's an upset because there was chemistry problems there. Things are not going smooth with the team, with the players, Magic and the players, and the coach, Paul Westhead. It was really, really bad. And that year, Boston won the championship over Houston. Yeah, Houston defeated Kansas City. Yeah, there was a team in Kansas City at the time. Kansas City had a team. Kansas City was also 500, also under 500. So Houston. The thing is I'm saying this is a little off topic. Houston 40-42 goes to face Boston in the championship round 1981, and they took Boston to 6 games. And Boston's record in the regular season was 62-20, but Houston took 2 games from Boston, and they were under 500. Boston should have swept Houston. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You have 22 more wins than this team, and a team that's 2 games under 500. I'm sorry. You should have swept them. You should have swept them. There's no excuse. I'm sorry. There's no excuse. No excuse. But that season really was the beginning of kind of the downfall between Paul Westhead and stuff. When did Paul Westhead get fired? Let me see. I don't know. Because you're gonna see him get fired in this show in season 2. You're gonna see him get fired in this season. Okay? So let's see if he gets fired. Okay, he gets fired basically after this season, 1981. Yeah. Yeah. So by episode 3 or 4 of season 2, you'll see Adrian Brody's Pat Riley as the new coach of the Lakers. And if you're gonna come at me for spoiling this, it's not spoiling this. This has been out there for years. You can just look it up on Wikipedia. Oh, he does become the coach of the Bulls later on, but that's it. In Denver, he does become the coach of Denver. He does coach some WNBA teams later on. Phoenix Mercury. Who are the Los Angeles Stars? Oh, I don't know who that is. So he gets fired. Okay, so I'm reading his history on Wikipedia. Moses Malone led Houston Rockets. Now, in episode 2, we did not. When they showed them losing to the Rockets, they did not show the actor playing Moses Malone. In fact, they kind of ignored Moses Malone in episode 2. They kind of ignored him, like he wasn't there. So this is what happens. Magic Johnson wanted Westhead to implement a fast break offense involving all 5 players that he felt better suited his style of play. While Westhead was insistent to continue winning an isolation style offense center Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So the thing is, him and Westhead had a difference of opinion, right, on how they should run their offense, right? More of a passing, shooting kind of game with Magic, right? Right, with one and gun, right? Fast break, but we're Westhead won, more of an ISO kind of game, with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Obviously, because Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was, their guy. I mean, Magic was a star too, but Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had to respect and was their number 1 star then, right? Number 1 player. And so Westhead got fired, and in the end, Westhead gets fired in his 3rd season, early in the 3rd season, like really early in the 3rd season. So we might see that episode 3 or 4, Westhead, Jason Segel get fired, and you might see Jason Segel might be written off. He'll be written off in this season because based on how this happens in real life, It's gonna happen in the show based on what happened in real life. And Paul West said he's gonna get. Yes, yes, John. That's what I said earlier in the stream. Johnson wanted a trade request because of the difference opinion on how they won their offense. And obviously, like I said, this happens in sports all the time. And I think it attests to this. The grassroots management will mostly go with the player. And Jerry Buss, I don't think it was thrilled to Westhead. I don't think because Westhead wasn't really his guy. Really, I think he liked Riley better, but he definitely Johnson was his guy. Like Morey, I know Harden is shitting on Morey now, but at the time, at one point, Harden was Morey's guy, and Morey would do anything for Harden, whatever coaching brings in, whatever player. Like Best love Magic. Okay, so obviously we got rid of the coach. And we're gonna see that. We're gonna see that. Now the question is are the writers and producers who worked on the show, are they gonna blow out proportion, make it more dramatic, dramatic than it was in real life? Right? Okay. Okay. Right? Which is that bullshit. I find that bullshit. I think that's BS. I still think you have Magic because he loves Magic. So now in this show, when we find out when Jason Segel's character Westhead gets fired, I wonder how they're gonna show it, how we're gonna see it, because like I said, the show, right? They make it more dramatic, right? More intense, more comical, and not in a good way comical. Okay, then and how this probably would happen in real life. Now we don't know how Paul Westhead's feelings. Now I don't know Paul Westhead's feelings in real life. I don't know if they're really. I don't know. Maybe it's articles, whatever. I don't know. But even if there are, if he said something, they're still going to find a way to push the envelope here in the show, and you're gonna maybe have Jason Segel go ballistic and blame Magic or something like that, and tell you're the reason I'm don't have a job. It's all because of you. I don't know. Goes to the locker room, throws on the clipboard, maybe throws a chair, rips the clipboard in half, throws a chair, and yells at Magic, "You're the reason I don't have a job anymore," or whatever. I don't know. And maybe when Jerry Buss calls, maybe in the show when Jerry Buss or the GM, whoever calls him into the office, or maybe with Jerry Rester, Jerry Buss, and maybe Brett Collins' character, I think that might be the GM. Is there? Tells him, yeah, we're gonna let you go, and then and Jason Segel is gonna Paul Westhead's character is gonna go ballistic there in the office. Yeah, have a fun time sucking Magic Johnson's cock. I'm sorry for saying that. I don't mean. I'm sorry for saying those words, but you get my point, right? Because he's gonna make it sound. Maybe you're gonna make it sound like they're kissing Magic Johnson's ass. They're all favoring him and stuff. And remember, Jerry West was against the idea of getting Magic Johnson. I don't know. They're gonna find some way. They're gonna find some way to have Jason Segel's character go ballistic. Okay, and maybe he's gonna go ballistic over Pat Riley because in this season 2 there is some friction between him and Pat Riley, Adrian Brody's character. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, there's only been 2 episodes in. We'll see where this goes. But yeah, I'm gonna finish it here, guys. Every new episode Sunday. Winning times on Sundays. Okay. I started this season 2 a little bit late. I forgot what day it started. Okay. I did not see it the premiere day for season 2 on August 6th. I forgot it was premiering August 6th. So I saw it a little bit later in the week. Then I made sure to see it yesterday Sunday. I saw it Sunday, episode 2. Episode No, I did not see it on Sunday, but I knew it came out on Sunday. But I went on demand. I went on demand, HBO, whatever, demand. No, Crave TV here, which has a deal with HBO and Warner Brothers. In Canada, Crave TV has a deal with HBO and Warner Brothers. I just made sure to watch it on Crave TV here in Canada, the second episode. But yes, every Sunday for 7 episodes, I believe, this season, every Sunday, it's on. Winning time. The Lakers dynasty. Now, I'll say this. I would love, after they do the Lakers, I would love them to do a Yankee thing, a New York Yankee thing. And I'll tell you which era of New York Yankees. I'm not talking about Babe Ruth or Mickey Mantle, but I'm talking about the 70s and early 80s with Billy Martin and Reggie Jackson. That stuff. I know there's only 3 or 4 years where Reggie Jackson was a Yankee, but him and his toxic relationship with Billy Martin and all that stuff, they gotta do something like that. They gotta do something like that, man. You could do it something like that, man. Do it with that, man. You can find there's other sports where you can find stuff like this, man. Yeah, Anthony, I would. Yeah, baseball has a long history of that. Yeah, but the problem is, Anthony, I think it'd be interesting. I think the problem is to compare it to the Last Dance and be like, you know what? We just saw the Last Dance, man. That Last Dance is real, and this is that. Why? What is it called? Losing time? Why? What has the Clippers done to warrant a show? All they've been known has been known to lose. Okay? And even when they try to win, their 2 best players sit out. And I know a couple years ago when they had Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, they were good, but they weren't great. What have the Clippers done? Do you remember the Clippers, the butt of jokes in the NBA? You remember that? They were so bad for like 20 years. Oh, that's different. That's a different story. That's a different story. But oh my God, you mean the coach that cannot get past the second round? Oh, because good. It has to be something like that because you can't do a show on the Clippers under winning their history of a franchise because they haven't really done anything. Okay, what have they done? You know what they should call it? They should call it losing time. Losing time with the losing time. The LA Clippers failed dynasty. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. I'm sorry. That's kind of fun. But you know what? I'm gonna end it here, guys. Like, share, subscribe, comment below, and I'll take care, guys. Fuck. That's fucking hilarious, guys. Take care.